So I did just do a short abridged version of this over on my close friend's story because I feel like it's continuing or maybe the next step after the reading from a few days ago. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the cards. Sorry if I get distracted, if I start yapping. You know me, I love to chit chat. But anyway, so we have the Queen of Coins upright, and what this symbolizes, what I've interpreted it to mean, is this is connection to yourself. This is strong feminine energy, and you are being given or you have attained new responsibility over your life. And feminine energy is not like girl, just like masculine energy isn't like boy. I think feminine energy more so encapsulates like the relationship you have to yourself and your emotions and how you feel. And that's not a bad thing. I hate people act like being feminine is a bad thing. Being in touch with your energy, your softer side, and with your inner child is a bad thing. It's really not. But you have this new responsibility. You have control over finances, material goods. And material goods isn't necessarily brands. It could also just be like the physical things around you, like, you know, stuff like this. And it's something that you maybe haven't had before, or you haven't had this much of it before, because in the last reading it was about speaking your truth and still always speaking your truth no matter what the obstacle was, in order to keep the wheel turning, to move on to, you know, your dreams, or to move on towards what fulfills you. So that's what this card is really saying. And then the devil came out. We did go into a little bit of detail about the devil on my Instagram story, but just kind of reiterate, this isn't so much like, oh, you're being possessed, or the devil is like has a hold of you. I want you to kind of let go of your Christian ideology when you're thinking about tarot and the interpretation of what the devil and the death means. But this is more so serving as a warning to be careful with indulging in things that don't fulfill you, that don't get you to the place that you want to go to. Because when you do that, it can get you into a place of bondage. It can, and that doesn't necessarily mean like an abusive situation or like a job where you're like, your boss is an asshole, but like it'll get you into a place that you don't want to be, where you are feeling stuck. And so I don't think I went into a lot of detail on the story about this, but the situation I'm getting is either it's like you left a job, you left a friend group, or you left a relationship. And whether you are still at that job and you just like, you haven't put in your 2 weeks notice yet, or your 2 weeks isn't up yet, or you are still at the job and you're just applying, your like getting an interview, you just finally heard back for an interview or whatever, or you left a friend group or a relationship and you're still talking to that person or those people, be careful with how much energy you put into it, how much intention you put there, because when you are indulging in things, because comfortability is still a form of indulgence, especially if you're really comfortable and you continue that because you don't like being uncomfortable, that is still indulgence. Be careful with the things that you are indulging in that don't serve you, that are not going to get you to this place you want to go to, or to a goal you're trying to reach, because then it will get you back into that situation. So you still need to stand on business. I hate using like slang sometimes, even though that's not slang. But you still have to stand on business and stay in this energy of responsibility and stay focused. But I don't want you to worry about the devil upright, because what came out right after is the Chariot. So what that tells me is that this is kind of still around, but you have control. You're steering the ship and you're going in the right direction with all of this responsibility that you have. So just kind of let this fade into the background. Let this person or these people or that job or whatever, let that kind of phase itself out of your life. It's not going to mesh with wherever you're going. It's not going to mesh with where you are right now. So just let it phase itself out. You know, when you kind of decide to make a change for your betterment, to do something that fulfills you, the people who are not about that, who are not with it, who are not going to be there for you, like they're naturally going to just disappear. This almost fell out of my hand. Just let it fade into the background, okay? Don't worry about that. Just keep an eye on it. But you're not stunned that. Like, but you know, let him stay down on the floor. Anyway, and then the 5 of Wands reverse, this, like I said, tells me that communication from earlier in the week, you seeking an apology, seeking better treatment, seeking more responsibility, especially if this is about job. If you reached out to your boss or your manager saying that you wanted, a higher pay, or you wanted to have more responsibility at work, you felt like you weren't being listened to, whatever, that communication has either absolved itself. Like I said, that person got their shit together and decided to start being a contributing member of their community and listening to the other community members, or they still are being stupid bitch, and you're just like, I'm not going to engage anymore. If you're going to be dedicated to misunderstanding me, I'm dedicated not giving a fuck, and I moved on so that my wheel can keep turning and I can go. And now you have the confidence, or maybe not confidence, because the King of Swords did come up reverse, we'll talk about that, but you have the control and you have a more clear view of what's in front of you, and you are doing this your way. You're doing what serves you, what fulfills you, and don't fucking worry about that guy down there. But this has absolved itself, and this is also not something they need to worry about. Yeah, people are going to be annoying when they see you, moving on, moving forward, glowing up, whatever phrase you want to use. They're going to try to be nasty and try to interfere, but just like the devil, you're not stunting that. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, which is what leads me to these last sets of cards. And this worries me now. I'm going to put on my sweet girl voice. I'm going to be real nice when I say this. 6 of Swords reverse, 8 of Swords upright, and King of Wands reverse. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning, and I'll say this first. I'm very proud of you for speaking what's on your mind. As I've grown and matured, I've realized that that's something that is very, very hard for people to do. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. I'm very proud of continuing to do that and not allowing others' perception of you to control the things that you are doing in this life, fulfilling the things that you want, going for the things that you want. That is something that I always thought was just that's what everybody did. But that is a very brave thing to do, and I'm incredibly, incredibly, incredibly proud of you for doing so. And I'm so happy that you're in this new space. And I know that alongside feeling good, before I even get into the cards, because I've had to do this before, alongside feeling good and feeling like you have control, there is some worry, some fear, and some anxiety there. So I want you first to take a deep breath and just in through your nose, out through your mouth, audibly out through your mouth. Let your shoulders fall and just relax. That's the first step when you get into this space, is learning to relax, learning to not be hypervigilant, learning to not be thinking about what other people want, other people's energies. Stay focused right here with yourself. So just let your shoulders fall. Take a big, deep breath. Okay? The 6 of Swords upright says that you did leave something that was very significant to you, like a job or a friendship, a friend group, or a relationship. Keyword for the better. And if you look at this card upright, there is a woman and a baby leaving in the middle of the night. And that does not take a rocket scientist to interpret what that means. Reverse says that you still left something for the better, but you are wondering if you made the right choice. You're second guessing and you're feeling a little bit of regret, maybe because now you're in this space where there's less influence and it's just you, and you might be a little insecure about your voice, if what you want is right, if what you want is good enough. That before I even say that, the 8 of Swords also came up, which is about feeling trapped and feeling a bit lost. This is completely and totally natural and normal, and this is not, at least I had never seen this communicated from people who make big life changes, is those first few days, those first hours, those first weeks, maybe month or two, is going to feel like that. You're going to be like, well, what the fuck do I do now? I shouldn't have done that because now I don't know what to do, whether that be with the time in between, time you used to spend with someone, time you used to spend at work, whatever. You're like, what do I do with all this extra time? And then you get bored, and then you get antsy, and then you start thinking, and you don't want to think anymore. So you go back down there and you get that guy. Don't let that sway you from continuing to do what fulfills you and standing on business, because this is normal and natural. When you start taking control and you stop letting other people make the decisions, that space in your brain, you realize that it now has to be used for something. It's going to be used for decision making and steering, but it's not going to come overnight. It's just going to take time. I know that's maybe not the answer you want to hear, but I'm not going to sit here and start yapping about myself, but from personal experience, it does take time, but you will get there. But to get there, you have to put in the work. You have to be active. It's going to be a little tiring, honestly, which is going to contradict some advice that I have after this. But it's going to be a little tiring at first to always be the one doing it. As someone who is single, someone who's independent, like, it is tiring to always do stuff like on your own, always do stuff for yourself. But that person, that thing, that community that will help you will come along soon enough. You just have to have faith in yourself. This is very, very important. This is, have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself about not knowing what to do. No, but there's no rule book to this. Nobody tells us how to do this shit. People who master stuff, they'll explain how to do shit, but they don't ever start at the very, very beginning when they felt lost, when they didn't know what the hell was going on either. So have faith in yourself. The King of Wands reverse tells me that there's a little bit of lack of confidence, and I don't like that. You have nothing to not feel confident about. You have everything to feel confident about. You have so much going for you because you had the strength and the bravery to say it anyway. To say something to someone, and it didn't matter that they didn't hear you. You're like, okay, well, it is what it is. This is what I want. We don't want the same thing. We're gonna have to part ways or learn to coexist. So, like, you have plenty to be confident over. I want to do a reading in another 2 weeks, see where this is at. I hope this is reversed and that this is up the right way, because this is, when it's upright, it's about attacking your goals with, like, confidence and quickness and life and being lively. And, like, I mean, look at this card. It's very, there's a fucking lion on there. Like, I wanted to flip this upside down 2 weeks, but you have nothing to not, like you got it. You know, you got it. And I believe in you, whoever this is for. You just have to have some patience. You have to have patience, and you have to have faith in yourself. Believing in yourself is the greatest thing you can do. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to believe in yourself, to be like, this thing that I want that seems crazy. It's not crazy because it's crazy and it's unattainable. It's crazy because wherever you were, it was bigger than that. You know? My personal experience, I grew up in a very Southern religious environment. So, like, wanting to go be in the entertainment industry, like, that was fucking insane. And that's why I thought it was attainable, because nobody in, like, a very religious, deep South, you know, community is, like, seeing shit that, like, Beyonce and everything is doing, and they're like, oh, that's godly. I was like, it's not crazy because it's unattainable and crazy. It's crazy because it doesn't fit where you were, and you just left that space. So have faith in yourself. This thing that you're trying to attain, or this goal you're trying to reach, or this thing you're trying to get to, it's not crazy. It's what you want, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly natural. So go get it, baby. You just have to have some faith in yourself. You just have to have faith in yourself, and you have to be patient, is all. But I do want you to know, I'm very proud of you, and I know that you can do this. I know you can do this, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing, and you're gonna smash it. And the advice I have here is separate from tarot or cards. I kind of wanted this to be, I'm probably still gonna make an episode about this on brevity, but the winter time is almost over. We're like 3 weeks away from spring. Thank fucking God. And the winter time, spiritually, emotionally, I think, is really about reflection. You look at all of the other, like, religions and cultures, the winter is really a time to go inward and look at your life and reflect and make decisions. It's really a time to be inside. That's why it's so cold outside. And yes, there's a scientific reason of why it's cold outside, but the woo-woo explanation of it is it's a time to go inward and think. And in these last 2 weeks, not like these upcoming 2 weeks, like the last 2 weeks of February, there may have been some sort of realization and action, which is where this is coming from. And that is the hardest part. That is what you were supposed to do with your winter, was make that decision. It doesn't matter if you didn't know going into the winter that that was a decision that needed to be made. It's been made, and you've done the hard part. So what I want you to focus on these next 2 weeks, what I'm doing these next 2 weeks, is really relaxing. Really, if you want to turn back for a moment and look kind of at that frozen landscape, like the way that I visualized it the past winter was like I was physically walking through a frozen environment into the next warm environment. Like if you played Minecraft or blockheads, especially blockheads because it's 2D, so it's easier to kind of see this analogy. Physically walking through a cold environment into a warm environment, from winter into spring. These last 2 weeks are where you're in that middle ground. And if you want to turn around and like, you know, appreciate what you've been through, that's fine. No one's saying you can't do that. But remember that at some point you're going to need to turn around towards that sun getting higher in the sky. This is what I'm doing these next 2 weeks, and just really bask in it as you take these slow, relaxing, careful steps into the next season, the next physical season, like by the weather, the next season emotionally, spiritually, whatever way you define a season. Step into those in the sunlight and just let it happen. Just let the days pass these next 2 weeks. I mean, they're probably going to be a little bit long, to be honest with you, but that's why I want you to try to prioritize yourself and doing what makes you feel good. Maybe watching your favorite movie from your childhood, cooking your favorite childhood meal for yourself, like having a date night by yourself. Those kinds of things going into the springtime. All of those things to be doing, though, as we get through these last couple of weeks that are more so for relaxing. Have your big final celebration if you got through it. And then in the springtime, baby, it's time to hit the ground running. You know, give yourself these 2 weeks to navigate this new space that you're in, navigate the new job that you're in, navigate the new relationship or the new lack of relationship, navigate the new friendship or new lack of friendship, new time in your schedule. Use this to get used to that energy of what it feels like to be wherever you are now, so that when spring comes, when action starts happening, when it gets warmer outside and we feel a bit more willing to go out and do shit, you can hit the ground running. And I promise you, if you do that, if you feel yourself, you write, you get yourself on a good routine these next 2 weeks, it's going to be easy. It's all going to fall in place. And this might come out reversed. Like I said, I want to do a reading in 2 weeks on this and have these 2 cards be flipped. And you really, wrong way. You think you're crushing it now. I want you to be fucking it up in a few weeks. And I want you to let me know about it. But yeah, really take these next few weeks to like do things that you've always wanted to do and prioritize rest, prioritize things that make you feel good. But yeah, keep the faith. Have faith in yourself. It's the most radical, fulfilling, and powerful thing you can do is to believe in yourself. The thing that you have always wanted, you're allowed to have it. So go get it. And I know you can get it, okay? You already did the hard part. The hard part is done. There will be challenges, but the hardest part, the thing that you've never done before, you've already done it. The first time is the hardest part. So you got this. You got this, and I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see where you're going. Okay? Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you guys in a few days.